Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Madcapper and this is another video on Raid Shadow Legends. Before we get into the meat of the video, I did want to give you a little bit of announcements, a couple things that are important to note. Number one, I apologize for the lack of videos. I work in retail, and this last kind of week and a half in through, it's today's Cyber Monday, so over the Black Friday weekend is an extremely busy weekend for me. It is tough, it is grueling, it is very demanding at work, so I decided to hold off on YouTube videos and just concentrate on my job and a couple Twitch streams. By the way, if you ever want to get a hold of me and you think you want to just hang out, have a little live show, have some fun, swearing filter off. It's a little bit, some people have bad mouths. I'm not saying it's me, but some people swear too much. Come see me at Twitch TV/MadcapperYT, link in the description down below. I stream several days a week, and that brings me to my second announcement. So I am starting a new job January 2nd. A lot of you that follow me on Twitch know this. I got a new job, and part of that job is a competitor to my current job, although I will be a regional manager, operations manager now. And oh, give me gems. No, thank you. And so what will be happening is I was going to work through to December 26th and then have a week off and then start the new job. However, my current company has decided that in their best interest, they wanted to facilitate the change of management, the change of power to the new manager now. So today effectively is my last day. I will be paid till the 26th of December, but I no longer have to go to work, which is an amazing thing. Essentially, the entirety of December, I now have a month off. That means more for you. I am going to be doing more videos. I'm going to be doing more Twitch streams. I'm actually going to stream 5 days a week. And on some days, we're actually going to stream 2 different games. I'm going to be starting Cyberpunk 2077 as soon as it comes out. So I invite you to join me on Twitch starting probably on the release day or at least shortly thereafter. And we're going to be playing that through a couple times a week as a supplement to my raid content. Don't worry, the raid content's not going anywhere. I'm just adding to it. Secondly, because of my change of jobs, I'm actually going to have a lot of money. I have a lot of back pay and vacation accrual and all these different things that they have to pay me out. So I'm going to take the opportunity to upgrade some stuff. We're going to be upgrading a proper green screen. My first iteration failed. Some proper lighting for the green screen. We're going to get a secondary camera going on. I have a really good camera. I just need a proper video card, capture card. So we're going to do that. And most importantly, I'm actually going to retire my, this is my computer over here off screen that you can't see. My Corsair, well, it's a build. It's my build. She has treated me well since October 25th, 2014 when I first built her. The only thing I've added to it is I changed out to a 1080 Ti video card at some point about 2 years ago. So, she owes me nothing. She has done well, but it's time to move on. So we are going to be building a new set there. We're going to be getting all the lighting and all that stuff. I don't know how long that's going to take. We might not see the effects of what I'm talking about until well into January, maybe even February, depending on how quickly some of this stuff can get ordered into me. But I'm excited to say that that's going to start. Regardless of when I upgrade and how I upgrade, we will be Twitch streaming 5 days a week, and I'm going to try to at least get 4 videos out per week for you all over the next month. And then my new job, it will be way more demanding on my knowledge and my abilities. It'll also be a lot more structured, which means I'm going to have to be able to actually slot in time for Twitch and for YouTube, which means I'm going to probably be a lot more consistent on when I stream and a lot more consistent on when I post YouTube videos. So I'm excited for that because it's going to give me an opportunity to be a lot more kind of regimented in both my work life there and my hobby life here. So that's 4 minutes. You probably didn't need to know, but I needed to tell you, so now you know. Now let's get on to the video and talk about the next in the I built them so you don't have to. It is the undead Force Affinity attack-based champion, Karam. Let's start by talking about his stats. 13, 12, 15 HP, pretty typical, a little on the low end, but not unsurprising for attack-based champions. 1354, it's okay attack. His defense is higher than I normally find, which is at 1068. Speed of 100, actually pretty darn good. Crit rate, crit damage, resist, all pretty typical for attack-based champions. His kit, he has an increased ally accuracy faction crips. Yeah, whatever. It's good if you don't have a different aura. If you don't have a better aura for the undead for Faction Wars, yeah, you can bring him in. He's probably not going to be a big Faction Wars champion, but you never know, he might be able to help you. His A1 attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns, and that's bookable to 50%. He has Fit of Rage, which attacks one enemy, has an extra 15% chance of inflicting a critical hit. Damage increases according to the amount of HP this champion has lost, and that can go down to a 3-turn cooldown and some damage. And then the reason why you might possibly use him is attacks one enemy, deals damage from all poison debuffs on the target instantly, and is down to a 4-turn cooldown when booked. So next, let's go jump over and take a look at how we have built him. Here is my Karam. Now, before I continue, I want to let you know one important distinction of how I've been building my champs in the last month and how I will be building them going forward. If I plan to feature a champion in the arena, I will take the gear from one of my arena champions. I currently have 3 nuking champions, all with slightly different ways of building them. It's pretty endgame gear. I have a really good Relentless set, I have a really good immunity set, and I have a really good just heavy attack set in Savage. So those are the 3 sets I'm using for arena. If I were taking an attack-based champion in the arena, I would build them out with that. If I am not, I want to make it my mission to use whatever gear I'm not currently using elsewhere. And the reason for that is, A, I want to have more of my champions built. It helps my player power. It's a complete cosmetic thing. It doesn't really amount to anything, but it makes it easier for me because then if I want to use these champions, I have gear on them already. So this is actually hand-me-down gear. It's gear that I'm not using elsewhere. It's gear that I don't need anywhere else. And so the stats might not be as end game, and maybe I should, but I don't think that's the point when making these champions. One of the things is most people that use these guides are people in the early to mid game who don't necessarily have the gear I have on, for example, my Ethos or my Foley or my Candrafon. They have gear that I have on my Karam here. And let's take a look at his stats. And this is a pretty easy build. It's not overly big. It's definitely doable. And you see he's got 31,855 HP, 2969 attack. The big thing here is that he's detonating poisons, which doesn't need his attack to do the big damage. Defense at 2K for survivability, 181 speed, so he goes last. And then crit rate 103, crit damage 245. Because as far as I can tell, the crit doesn't change the his A3. It does change his A2, which has a 15% modifier, and it does change his A1. So I just decided to go with crit rate, crit damage. That's typically how I build them out. Debuff accuracy seems to matter for detonation, though I haven't fully tested that. So maybe we'll do a quick test live for you guys while recording this. But there's the champion. Let's take a look at his masteries. I will be doing a video on masteries very shortly, and I'll talk about how I decide, but this is pretty much the standard build I use for any attack-based champion that also has debuffs. So I go down the offense support tree. The offense, I go for this, and the damage inflicted is 8% for each hit, for first hit on each enemy. So that's 3 waves of enemies. So that first hit is always you're always going to want to get that 8%. It makes sense. It makes sense in the arena as well. In Clan Boss is the only place that this is kind of useless to me. In order to get this, I did go with, of course, Grim Resolve. I'm not using them in the arena, so I'm not worried about shields. Crit rate, crit damage, and then down, this is what I call the damage alley. You could argue some of these abilities here. However, his A1 has only a 50% chance to land, so getting that extra 5% is huge. And the extension's also decent because if he's attacking a couple times and he's a 4-turn cooldown on his bomb, potentially to get 2 bomb hits out of here, you want those poisons to last as long as possible. Evil Eye, I always like that. A turn meter decrease, especially on a single target hitter. Lore of Steel, just to get that extra book. Lore of Steel was a little bit out of meta for a while, but since the Clan Boss calculator and arena calculators have come out, Lore of Steel is back in. It just gives you a chance to get some more base stats on your champions. And then the accuracy here, the accuracy here. First time, always going to use that accuracy piece. So again, pretty standard build, I would say, for most any champion that's of this guy's attack based and support. This would also work for anything in the Clan Boss with a few minor changes. If you're doing an unkillable where you're not taking damage, you might consider Heart of Glory. You probably wouldn't take Ruthless Ambush, but I digress. There's a video coming out soon about that. So there's Karam's abilities. As you can see, I have him fully booked. You're welcome. Just to make sure I was getting that full chance on his poisons and getting that cooldown on Rot Away. So we're now going to take him into the dungeon. So my final thoughts on Karam are this. Honestly, he's a Vault Guardian. He's not very strong. He doesn't help you with progression. And I think either a champion should be an endgame or a progression champion, and he's really neither. He is a niche champion that can help you. And if you are looking for that help, you don't have someone to help you progress in or to help your times in Fire Knight or your times in the Dragon, I think Karam is an option. I think he can help you, but it's so niche that I wouldn't recommend it. It's only if you have the ability to do so and you want to do so. I think you won't be necessarily disappointed, but you have tempered expectations on him. He's not going to help you progress. He's just not strong enough. How would I change him? Very simple. First of all, this should be a 2-hit with a 50% bookable to 60%. Or a 40 to 60% chance of placing a poison. There has to be a greater chance of him giving his own success. This should be a multi-hit. I don't care what it does. Maybe a weaken, right? A multi-hit weaken with a reasonable modifier, not crazy, but hits one enemy 3 times, right? Because then you've got 5 hits on his A1 and A2 combined. Then you can use him in the Fire Knight, but only if you change that A1 to a 2-hit and the A3 or his A2, sorry, to a 3-hit. Then all of a sudden he's got some Fire Knight usability. And then this here, having a single target is poor. He needs to be able to do, to a degree, what Elenarl and or Xavia do, and for that he needs to be able to AoE. Now, I understand if you just put an AoE, then he's just as good and everyone would use him over Xavia. She does have a block revive, so better in arena, but you know what I'm saying. So maybe you make it 50% bookable to 75% of the damage from poisons. That way you can build that hold, that Taurus Draco, boom, quick speed run. And maybe you don't have Xavia, you don't have Elenarl, you're using Karam, and he's only doing 75% of the damage, so he's not one-shotting or two-shotting the dragon, but at least he's still there. He's still doing good, consistent damage throughout, and he's a viable option in the dragon and the Fire Knight, for example. I would love to see that. I think that's how I would build him out, how he would be totally fixed. Make that A1 2-hit, make that A2 3-hit, get rid of the decrease HP garbage, damage increases. Just make it a weaken on there or something. Maybe a poison sensitivity would be neat. But make it a multi-hit A2 with okay damage. Like, make the total overall damage very similar to what it is now. And make his A3 hit 50 to 75% booked percent of the poison damage when he detonates. What are your thoughts? Is Karam your favorite? Do you think he's underrated? Do you think I've underrated him? Or do you think even everything I've said to you think is garbage? He's just a trash, 0 tier champion. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, like I said, do not forget, check me out on Twitch. I will be soon streaming Cyberpunk 2077. I am currently streaming Raid Shadow Legends, and starting this week, we will be going to 4 days this week and then 5 days a week, every week thereafter till Christmas. Merry Christmas to me, and Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for joining the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, be kind to one another, keep social distancing, and I'll see you in the next video.